Hey y'all, it's me, Barb Hardly, here to count down my top 10 Marvel Legends action figures of 2024. Now, if you'll recall, I did this very same thing for 2023, except I had bigger hair, a shorter dress, and was sitting in front of a green screen, which made showing off figures like Hood, still don't know how to pronounce it, and Drax very hard. So this year, I'm standing in one of the corners of my home office where I am trapped until Dolly Parton says my name at least once. This right here is all the figures that I bought in 2024. 42 of them. Of course, if you count, you'll only see 32 figures there, and that's because we're going to be adding the top 10 to the front row and probably knocking them over. You can go to popeyes.com and read this here list. Now, of course, only figures that I bought are eligible because, duh. And this is also incredibly biased because, duh. Now, let's get on to number 10. Can I do this while holding a microphone? We're going to find out. Number 10 on the list is Scarlet Spider. Ben Reilly himself wearing his amazing 1994 hoodie, sleeveless hoodie, because he's ready to go dunk on some supervillains. Hasbro, you make any kind of esoteric 90s character, I'm going to buy the figure of it. What I love about Scarlet Spider here is that he is super articulated, even his little toesy woesies. Is this work? Oh gosh. Wait, is this? You know, the original intention was to do some serious posing, like, you know how I did all these? And now I'm realizing that is stupid, because I am very hot, and I don't really have any tactile sensation with these gloves on, so I don't... Okay. Oh. Love it. Not doing this. My décolletage needs to be unobstructed. Now, as any Marvel Legends fan knows, all the figures that I ordered in 2024 have not arrived. The Secret Wars wave did arrive just in time, and oh boy, one of those figures absolutely made the top 10, and that is Titania. Look at her. Come on. Look at this diva. Look at this just brick house of a mean, nasty woman. And look at that purple. Oh, look at these leg spikes. Oh, she is She-Hulk's arch nemesis, and I am here for it. And y'all, I'm telling y'all, dragon action figures, look at her. They go hand in hand. She looks kind of like if Evie Oddly and Mrs. Kasha Davis had, like, a baby who wrestled. Like, that's Titania's vibe. Anyway, let's put Titania over here. Now, one of the things that I rated all these figures on was surprise factor. What do I mean by surprise? Well, you know exactly what I mean by surprise. Y'all watch all the live streams just because you want the rush whenever you hear Dwight, Dan, or Ryan say the name of a super obscure Marvel character, and then you're like, oh my, they're getting a figure. That's what you want. You want that excitement. And so that factors in. And one of the figures that was the most what to me this year is Psylock in her Lady Mandarin costume, which is not what we called it costume anymore. The name is tacky. This figure, though, is amazing. She wore this costume for like 3 issues, and we still ain't got this Psylock yet. We ain't got her yet. Let's get her. But anyway, we do have this one, and this is a great figure. 2 head sculpts. One stoic, one very mean. Entirely new sculpt. I mean, come on, look at this. And I don't know how they will ever reuse any of these parts, but that is fine. That is great. She's unique. She's one of a kind. She is Psylock. Museum putty is for chumps. Real men wear a gown while they balance their figures on just their 2 little feet with no assistance. Okay, let's move on. The number 7 Marvel Legend of the Year is for my favorite Marvel character, Rogue. Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, first appearance, Avengers Annual number 10, Rogue. I mean, look at her. Look at that face. Look how mean that face is. Are you just focusing on my face? I lost my mind when they announced this figure was coming out. Of course, I did lose my mind a little bit more for Destiny, who did score a perfect 7 out of 7 on the surprise-o-meter. Rogue's a 6 out of 7, because it isn't that surprising they would make a Rogue figure. But after just getting the Jim Lee version over and over and over again, I'm surprised we ever got anything as old as this one. You know, I could have done with an ab crunch somehow. I don't know how they would fit it in there. And I could have done with an alternate head with temple white streaks, but whatever. This version is still great and still very poseable. Even for the lack of articulation in her midsection. I'm not going to be posing her very well right now, though. I can guarantee y'all, there ain't no other top 10 Marvel Legends figures of 2024 video that involves this much effort and sweat. Your favorite YouTube boys ain't doing these videos in corsets and heels now, are they? Does that make them smarter than me? I mean, definitely more comfortable than me, but probably not as gorgeous as me. Anyway, number 6 on our list is, of course, gotta have one of them because Hasbro made about 30 of them this year, a Wolverine. Specifically, the Astonishing X-Men Wolverine. Y'all, I could take or leave Wolverine, he is fine. So for this figure to place higher than Rogue, truly wild. Everything about this figure is gorgeous. All the coloring, the sculpting, the head, the faces, all the hands. Look, he can point. This is a figure, Wolverine could be like, hey bub, that beer's mine. And of course, rest in peace John Cassaday, one of the greatest artists to ever live and to ever draw the X-Men, definitely. Okay. Took out room for 4 there? We'll find out. Number 5. Oh, 5. I got 5 more figures. Okay. And coming in at number 5 is Iron Fist, a figure that it took Hasbro, I don't know, decades to finally make. It comes with a whole lot of little hands, a lot of hands doing different things. He's got the little fiery Iron Fisty add-on things, and he came with Luke Cage, who's also a really great figure. He is right there. He is very poseable and agile, and I actually balanced him on one of these shelves on just 1 foot, and I was very proud of getting that balance down. And it only took him a couple weeks to end up face up on my floor. Okay. Oh, he's got the toe things too. Look at those toes. Look at those toes. Well, I'm going to need a lot more room on that front row because number 4 is quite possibly the biggest Marvel Legend that they released this year. I'm talking about Angel, Warren Kenneth Worthington III. He of the feathery wings and blonde hair. Look at him. And this is a costume that don't ever really get made into action figures. These wings are absolutely spectacular. I mean, they fold up. I mean, look how tight those wings get. Oof. I am absolutely going to be buying this again when they reissue it in blue because that's the kind of madness that I indulge in myself. Now, before I get to my number 3, I want to take a little bit of a detour for a second. I started doing a whole lot of G.I. Joe collecting. My collection's right over there, just off camera. I should have a video about my G.I. Joe collection going up soon, if it ain't up already. Who am I kidding? It ain't up already. I've been sitting on it for a month. But in that collecting, I've been buying a lot of 3D printed customs. Well, one of the weird things that I noticed about the vendor is that they have printed alternate chest pieces for all of the very few female G.I. Joe figures so that they can have tickle bitties. Because the boobies on the 80s G.I. Joe figures weren't big enough, so gotta give them huge jugs. So that's just some table set so that I can say this Dum Dum Dugan figure is one of the sexiest action figures I have ever seen in my life, and I cannot. Oh God, he's so handsome. Wait, if we just get up close, Dum Dum. Okay, whatever. Anyway, he's so just the fact that they gave him like a stockier body, it's like just so barrel chested and manly, and just like just those eyes. Anyway, it's a beautiful figure, and I love it, and I love him. He's number 3 because he is near perfect. I would have liked an alternate head without the little bowler hat, or maybe a removable bowler hat. Maybe a removable shirt, too. Just a whole other different torso you can swap out that just shows his hairy chest. Anyway, if one of y'all out there can 3D print a Dum Dum Dugan that's shirtless with chest hair, let me know. Now the number 2 figure on my list is a Target exclusive, which are the 2 words that strike fear in the heart of every single Marvel Legends collector, except I happened to be on my Target app at the exact right time to see that there was one of these figures in stock at a Target a mere 90-minute bus ride away. And since I spent the summer of super depressed and super non-employed, I mean, it was a whole thing, I had totally the time and the emotional justification to spend a whole day going back and forth to a Target in order to buy one action figure. That action figure was Carol Danvers, Ms. Marvel. Oh, that gold paint on that lightning bolt, the black bodysuit is so iconic. The fact that they gave her a 70s looking head and then also a like Frank Cho-esque 2000s era head. Now, of course, 2024 was also the year that I broke down and finally paid like $70 for the previous Ms. Marvel Marvel Legend from about 10 years ago on eBay, and then they announced this one, so whatever. And the fact that we got this and Rogue in the same year, Hasbro, y'all know what you're doing, don't you? You know, yesterday I was like, well, you know, I could get in drag and then put this entire display together. That would be for a cool video. Then when I got to the... I am so glad that I killed my enthusiasm for that. Oh, Carol. Okay, there we go. God, just take a minute. Just take a minute because we've reached number 1. It's been an odyssey. I've burned about 3,700 calories just bending over and picking up action figures. Can't breathe. Sweating bullets. Doing all this content for y'all because I put in the hard work to be a Marvel Legends YouTuber sometimes. I do a lot of videos about a lot of things. Anyway, number 1 on the list is, of course, SheHulk. Oh, I mean, just look at the way that green just pops off, and I'm very glad that I didn't use a green screen this year because you got to see this figure in all of her natural glory. I mean, look at us. Look at the divas. Look at the dolls that we are. Just a perfect figure. Just amazing sculpt, great face. You know, and to be number 1 and to come with such paltry selection of accessories. I mean, an alternate pair of hands and a weird like rifle thing that she broke in. Like, what are we doing here? Give me an alternate head. Give me something. I don't know. Give me more hands. Whatever. But this figure is so good that none of that matters. Oh, just absolutely perfect. The shade of green they chose, great. The way it pops off that magenta, love it. She's just the HBIC of 2024. And again, I will buy every version of this figure that Hasbro releases because you know we're getting a Fantastic Four version of this at some point. I love her. I love her so much. She's my number 1. My number 1. Okay, now let's see if I can actually fit her on this. You know what? It's good enough. It's good enough. It's good enough. That is good enough for right now. And there you go. My top 10 Marvel Legends action figures of 2024. Scarlet Spider, Titania, Psylock, Rogue, Wolverine, Iron Fist, Angel, Dum Dum Dugan, Ms. Marvel, and SheHulk. And that is all the time that we have for today. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you like content like this wherein a drag queen talks about action figures, subscribe to my channel. Also, go to Instagram.com, Barb Hardly. Like and follow and do all that kind of stuff to me over there. And if you want to help me buy Marvel Legends action figures, there's always Venmo, baby. And read this article, the article version of this list on popheist.com, where I, when I'm out of drag, also write about Marvel Legends and action figures and how G.I. Joes helped me deal with the death of my father this year. Toys. They're actually a pretty serious business. And until next time, am I a woman? Hardly. Okay, that was a lot. Baby, baby, baby.